sit and breathe to start. So if you want to use a cushion or a block, and a single block will be really helpful this morning. So if you have a block or anything that will serve just to kind of elevate the floor, we won't be putting a ton of pressure on the block. So it doesn't have to be a block per se, but you know, something that kind of lifts the ground, because we'll do a few things to get, you know, to access certain muscles that'll be useful for today. So I'll leave it as mysterious as that. So welcome. We have one more person coming in, but we'll let them arrive in their time. Thank you all for being here this morning. Beautiful Monday morning before the fall equinox. Feel free to close your eyes or just to look out on the floor in the distance. Again, kneeling or cross-legged, whatever is going to suit you the best as you support your hips and let your back be straight. As you're just getting acquainted, you know, every morning, you know, even if you sit every day, you still have to make those first few adjustments to kind of settle into where you feel like you're at home in the seat, in the posture. Little wiggles to the shoulders, to the hips, little sway to the spine. And as far as the base of your body is concerned, we try to feel like we're sitting a little bit on the thighs as well as the tush. Okay? So you're not just on your butt, you're almost on your thighs. So sometimes it feels like you're tilting forward slightly, and then you can feel that length through the top of your head. We'll enjoy a few breaths as we're settling in here. So the inhalation smooth, exhalation steady. And we're just going to link a gentle mental affirmation with the breath. So when you inhale, you're going to say to yourself, breathing in. And when you exhale, you're going to say to yourself, breathing out. This is a technique that's been kind of updated by the late, great Thich Nhat Hanh, and comes from a Buddhist tradition. Just when you breathe in, you say breathing in. And when you breathe out, you say to yourself, breathing out. And we'll extend the affirmation just a few more breaths. Breathing in, I can feel my body breathing in. Breathing out, I can feel my body breathing out. Come on. You can edit however you need to. Breathing in, I can feel my body breathing in. Breathing out, I can feel my body breathing out. Make a very gentle twist. So as you sit up really tall, take a deep breath in. Turn to your right when you breathe out. Slow rotation. And of course, you can move your arms, your right hand behind you, your left hand over to your leg. And as you turn to look over your shoulder, try to build the twist from the bottom up, right? You're already in the twist, of course, but each breath you could sort of recreate the spiral from your hips to your head. And you could still continue with the affirmation, breathing in when you breathe in and breathing out when you breathe out. So we're just helping to create that mental link. Breathing in, I can feel the twist. Breathing out, I can go farther. We'll stay for just one more breath, both the in and the out. And then letting go as you inhale. Let the unwinding happen on its own. The hips balanced, shoulders balanced as you find your center again. Nice and tall, deep breath in. We'll turn to the left, slow rotation. Of course, you can turn your head like you're looking over your shoulder. And continuing to feel the length through the torso. Of course, you don't have to use those affirmations like that, but they're helpful from time to time. Bless you. The more you give attention to your body, the more you'll notice what's necessary, what adjustments are needed, right? Things that are particular to your body, your experience. And we'll stay for the exhalation. You can breathe out, maybe twisting a little deeper. Inhale to release. We'll come back slowly. Now, we're going to change the way the legs are crossed. So once you've arrived in the center, we'll switch the ankles. If you're kneeling, of course, you can just stay kneeling. We're going to send the arms way up for the ceiling, palms high. You can spread the fingers or turn the fingers and point them away. You're going to lean to the right, really slowly. Catch yourself with your right elbow bending and that left arm really long. We'll turn to look up at the right elbow and breathing in, coming over. Let your left hand catch you, that right arm reaching. Again, you can turn to look up at that right elbow, rising over the rainbow. Inhale through the top. Just one more time to your right. And you can look up, feel into the ribs, breathing through the side body. Just one more time to your left. We'll take the length. Right hip anchored. And then we'll come up to the center, the hands together. No hurry. Down to the heart. Pause a moment. Shoulders easy. Eyes gentle. And if you'd like to place any dedication or set intention for your practice, something that feels useful, significant to you, a place to return your focus. We'll offer a single sound of Om. Feel free simply to hum, as long as you can feel the vibration, it's loud enough. Nice deep breath in to begin. Deep breath in when you are ready. The exhalation to release the hands, fingers to the floor, eyes open. Take the legs out in front for a moment. We'll point and flex the feet just to release the knees a little bit. Noticing as you're going back and forth with your ankles, the toes kind of running straight ahead. We often try to keep the feet parallel. We could think of like cross-country skis, on the feet, they're running straight up and down, and these parallel tracks. Now we're going to hold just for a moment, turn both of your feet over to the right, and then we'll go over to the left. And I think I'm opposite you, sorry, but we'll go side to side a couple times and feel the knees in rotation. You can bend your knees, and that might give you a little more feeling in the thighs, like the thigh bones are rotating. And feel that through the groin muscles, through the hips, inner and outer. Yeah, it's perfect, you all. Beautiful. All right, so we'll steady all of that. Bring your big toes together, slide your heels as far apart as they'll go. You can straighten your knees here, and it'll challenge you more as you're trying to turn the knees in. The hip flexors like to cramp. It's difficult to sit up with no-handed here. Right? If you try to lean forward, it takes a lot of work for some of us. So just to kind of define that boundary, and then we're going to bring the heels together and the toes out. I like to call this the Charlie Chaplin. You might remember how sometimes he would walk funny. But the knees are turning away, like the backs of the knees could look at each other, trying to feel that external rotation. This too, it's a little more challenging to sit forward, but not maybe quite as much as when we had the toes turned. And then we'll bring it back to the center. All right, feet together. Baddha Konasana. Take your hands, loose fists. Start at your heels and go very gently up and down to your big toe and then back the arches to your heels. And we'll go up and down a few more times. You start to feel like, oh yeah, this feels okay actually. I can get a little more vigorous, a little more pressure. Yeah, I'm basically pounding with like my pinky finger side, but you can definitely get in there with your knuckles. Ow, that's hurt. That's tender. That hurts. All right. All right, now pause just for a second so you create a little space between your feet. Both hands on your right foot. Just get in there and you just hammer up and down on the sole of your foot. And the sole of your foot can can take it. So you can get in there. Your feet are gonna feel like they're vibrating in just a second when you're done. Let's go to the other foot. Did you get on that left foot? Get in there. Your left foot doesn't just have to sit there passively. You can flex your ankle. You can be like, I'm gonna stay. Okay, that's really good. All right, okay. Massage thumbs from the heels up the arches toward that big toe ball mount, back and forth. You can get around on the sole of the foot. We are gonna start to make this into a forward bend. So as you lean forward, you can get the fingers on the tops of the feet massaging. You can move your fingers between the toe webbing. The baby toes deserve attention too. So between that pinky toe and the second toe, or however you want to count, fourth toe. But those webbing, you can get in there, and that's really sensitive. Strange as it might sound as you're breathing, try to flare your nostrils. The reflexology of the toes is the sinuses, right? So, or are the sinuses. All right, that's so great. So let's say thank you to our feet. You're the best feet I ever had. Thank you, feet. All right, we're gonna lie down. So please bring your knees together. My friends at home, you can hit play on the playlist and we'll meet on the floor on our backs. Set anything to the side that you were sitting on, and our little interlude. If you still feel your feet, it's so cool, right? All that extra attention, the sensitivity to the toes, you might feel your toes kind of tingly, sort of vibrating, all that is wonderful. And we'll get settled in our crooked corpse pose. So the feet to the floor and walking them away from each other. The knees are leaning together, and we'll take the arms way out to the side, palms facing upwards, goddess pose, also wonderful. So if you're unsure, you can always check in with me. I'll pretty much demonstrate everything, but very gently roll your head over to the right. And while you're looking at your right arm, see if you can stretch it a little bit farther in whatever direction that it's going. And keep reaching the right arm, add to it the left arm. So the left arm is reaching in the opposite direction. And then while you're reaching with that left arm, flip your palm over so your hand turns flat to the floor. And then very gently, you're going to turn your head to look over to the left. Flip your palm up, and then start by stretching that left arm really far to the side. Cross the floor, you could spread your fingers. The right arm is going to get in on the act. So both arms are stretching, and that right hand is going to flip flat to the floor. And breathing. Now you know what's coming, right? We're going to go back and forth. So as you turn your head to the right, flip your right hand over, your left hand rolls palm down. And then when you look to the left hand flips back up as the right arm. So they change at the exact same time. And as you turn your head to the right again, flip the palms. And then you look over to the other side. It's like you're trying to catch your hand off guard, but the palm is like too quick for you. It's like, no, I was up this whole time. I was facing upward. Feel it from your elbows. You can really straighten out, reach from the armpits. Try to feel it from your collarbones, the side of your neck, the ear, the jaw. Just one more time, right and left. You've come back to the center. We're gonna lift all 10 of the toes. So you're balancing on the backs of your heels. So the sole of the foot is pretty much in the air with the exception of that heel edge. Tip your knees over to the right side and just pause for half a second. Take a deep breath in. And when you exhale, you're gonna come back through the center. Keep your toes lifted, the ankles really flexed. Your knees go to the left. Yeah, that's perfect, you guys. Breathing in, make the change up and over the rainbow. Breathing out through the transition, the knees on the other side to the floor. We'll keep on going. You could relax your toes a little bit, right? You could take the soles of the feet back to the ground. We'll keep the legs in motion. When your knees go to the right, you can turn your head to look left. When your knees go to the left, you could turn your head to look to the right. We'll go one more time to each side. And when you are finished, we're going to meet in the middle. So back where we started, the knees together, the feet out wide, that crooked corpse pose. See if you can walk your feet just a little bit farther apart to the edges of your mat, maybe even off your mat. And then separate your knees so your knees are in line with your heels, right? Your thigh bones are open to the heel distance. Good. Again, flex your ankles. Good. Please pick up your right foot and place it across your left thigh. That right ankle is going to drag the left thigh back down to the ground, maybe halfway to the floor, maybe all the way to the floor. Circle your arms overhead and grab your left wrist and see if you can send it just a little crescent moon over to the right. You might be putting a little more pressure, kind of leaning into the right shoulder, sort of smushing on the ground. Breathing. Unhook your arms, bend your elbows. Free your right leg, kick it straight out into the space. And as you put your right foot down, bring your legs back to the center. It's kind of tricky to find from home, but once you got your feet wide, pick up your left foot, cross it over the right thigh, and you're using that left ankle bone to sort of drag the right leg along to the floor. That's perfect, you guys. Reaching higher, grab your right arm, send it way over to the side. You can smush and smear into that left shoulder. Absorb the pressure, right? Welcome that little bit of extra. But we're gonna release the arms. Good. Take the left leg and kick it straight out into the space. Big breath in, straight through your knee, and then bend your knee to put your foot on the floor. Bring the legs back to the center. Step your feet close into your hips. Good. Reach your arms straight up into the air, directly above your chest and shoulders. Rotate your wrists. You can look at your fingers and marvel. Your hands are so similar to your feet in almost every way, right? We'll reverse the rotation of the wrists. You can get your fingers involved. We'll relax the wrists. Your arms still vertical to the ceiling, your palms facing inward, thumbs pointing behind you. Pick up your right foot, bring your knee to your chest and straighten your leg toward the ceiling. We're gonna push up through that right heel. Take a deep breath in. And when you exhale, bend your knee, put it right back down on the floor. Keep your arms stationary, just holding an imaginary block above your chest. Your left leg into the air, knee to your chest, and then kick up through the heel. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, bend your left knee, put it down on the floor. And keep your arms vertical, press your shoulders into the floor like you could plug your arms into the earth. Press into your feet and slowly lift your hips up. We're gonna rise into our first bridge pose. We're just taking a deep breath in here. And when you exhale, come right back down to the floor. When your hips touch the ground, flex your ankles, balance on your heels, lift both feet at the same time, knees to your chest, and then straighten your legs to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. And when you exhale, bend your knees, lower your feet to the ground. Press your shoulders into the floor, lift your hips, bridge pose. Take a full breath in all the way up. And when you exhale, come right back down to the ground. When feet lift at the exact same moment, knees to your chest, straighten your legs, take a full breath in. And when you exhale, lower it back down. So that's the pattern. We're gonna lift the hips. You could take your arms overhead to the floor here as you lift the hips to bridge, Lowering the hips, lift your arms. When you send your legs to the ceiling, you could again take your arms overhead, just 2 inches from the floor. And when you exhale, bring your arms back vertical. Hips lifting, bridge pose. You could send your arms overhead, smush and smear into the upper back. When you exhale, you're lifting your arms. 2 more times, we'll go back and forth. You can lift your legs straight away to the ceiling. And then we'll lower the feet. Don't have to stay with me. One more bridge pose. When you're in your bridge, we'll stay a little longer. You can keep the arms straight overhead, or goddess pose might suit you better. Instead of trying to lift the hips so high, channel that pressure to the shoulders. Feel a little more length in your neck. Strong in the thighs, strong in the buttocks. We'll take a deep breath in. And on the exhalation, slowly, slowly lower it down. Bring your knees to your chest, grab the backs of your thighs. Head towards your knees. We'll rock a little bit side to side, lower back nice and flat. But we'll do one more for the core here. So holding on to the thighs, we'll steady the rocking, straighten and bend your knees a few more times. You can put your shoulders and your head back down on the ground at any point that you feel ready to do so. And the next time you've got your legs straight, we're going to hold them there. Lower both of your hands flat to the floor, arms next to your body, just alongside the ribs. We're going to lower the right leg only, about halfway to the floor, and we're breathing in. And on the exhalation, bring it right back up. Your left leg is going to go halfway to the ground, breathing in. And on the exhalation, we'll bring it right back up. Good. Now we'll continue to go with the legs. Inhale on the way down and exhale on the way up. You can keep your arms just like you have them, or take them straight up into the air, just like we were before, nice and vertical above the chest. When your leg moves, both arms go overhead. When your leg comes back home, so do the arms. When one of your legs goes, both arms move overhead. And when that leg comes back home, so do the arms. We'll do just a couple more, right and left. You don't have to add the arms here. Some of you might feel best just keeping the arms overhead on the floor. When you're finished on that final time, the left side gets its full turn. We'll bend both of the knees to lower the feet. We'll come up to our bridge pose. You can keep the arms overhead if you have them there, or take your arms underneath you, interlacing fingers. Right, so you've got a few options here, adjusting for the shoulders. Whatever you've chosen to do with your arms, right, giving focus to your thighs, keeping them parallel. And even if you need to walk your feet a little further apart so that the thighs can be true to the pelvis position, and really strong through the buttocks, tops and bottom of the thighs, firm, and just one more full breath in. We'll use our exhalation to lower down, slow and steady to the ground. And knees to your chest, your head to your knees. You can grab your shins initially, rocking a little bit side to side. And then we'll pause again in the center, grab the backs of your legs, take the feet overhead to catch a little momentum front to back. And you can go a few times if it feels good. We're moving to our hands and knees. So you can crisscross applesauce to get up and over. Otherwise, sitting and making a more safe transition might be the thing to do. And of course, as we get set up on hands and knees, a little cushion underneath the knees might go a long way. Cow pose, we're going to look forward. Tail feathers tilting, take a deep breath in. When you exhale, scoop the pelvis, rounding the back, chin to the chest. We'll go back and forth a few more times, inhaling, shoulders back away from the ears. We'll exhale to draw it through. Just a couple more cycles, right? Feeling that freedom of movement to the pelvis, Motion to the shoulders, shoulder blades, and collarbones. On through the neck. And just one more cycle. And your exhalation to give you that squeeze. Or inhalation to give you the length. When you're looking forward, we're going to lower down onto the elbows. Try to keep a distance between your elbows and your knees, similar to the distance between your hands and your knees. We'll round first to look at the knees, cat pose, and then arching cow pose. We're going to stay looking forward, maybe just past the thumbs or the fingertips. Stretch your right leg behind you up and into the air. Lift your leg just a little higher, flex your ankle, take a deep breath in. When you exhale, bring your knee toward your chest, cat pose. Compress into the forearms. And then we'll open up, inhaling, looking forward. Try to keep that right thigh parallel with your left thigh. So even when your leg is open and straight, we're not really letting the hips flare open too much, right? We're trying to keep, the belly button looking at the floor. The next time that you've got your leg up, we'll pause, bend your knee, heel to your butt. Now, try to lower the right thigh just a couple of inches. Your left hand is going to try to reach back and grab your ankle, just to touch it, just to touch, and then let it go. Take your right leg up and back. One more big breath in, look forward. We're going to do that one more time. Bend your knee, bring it close to the ground, but no touching. You just touch your fingers to your foot. Good. Take your right leg back, your left arm to the floor, big breath in, and your right knee down. We are going to rest in child's pose, but I'm going to give you a modification. So as you walk your hips back to your heels, poke your elbows into the ground. Your hands are in prayer position, either pointing to the ceiling or maybe to the back of your head, back of your neck. Sometimes when you do this, you need to keep the hips up a little bit. Sometimes you can crawl the elbows forward and press down a little deeper for that tricep stretch. Press the palms together, just one more breath. When you exhale, lower your hands, lift your hips. Palms spread flat to the ground, left leg back. Take your time to adjust what needs adjusting for your base. That right knee is strong, arms and elbows balanced. Looking forward as you breathe in. Exhale your knee toward your chest, cat pose. Just a few times in flow. And breathe in, open it up, and exhale to close it. Looking forward as best you can, open the chest. That's awesome, you guys. Broaden the collarbones, right? So helpful. Next time your leg is extended, bring your heel to your butt. Knee about halfway to the floor. So again, try not to touch the floor with that left leg. Your right hand is going to go free. And just try to tap your ankle, your heel, your big toe, any part of your leg, and then bring your arm back. You're going to straighten it out. Big breath in, look up. Knee forward, heel to your butt. Your right hand's going to try to tap your foot. Last time, straighten your leg, big breath in, and put your knee down. Same child's pose variation. You could modify by tucking the toes under as well. You can bring your hands to your upper back. You don't have to keep your hands in prayer position if you're lowering your fingers to your upper back or to your shoulders. If you're like, I like this version of child's pose, but I just prefer, vanilla today, right? Go for it, please. Just another breath. Send your arms out to the floor. Rising up all fours. We're on our way to downward dog. Take all the time you need to get your hands in position, the feet set, the knees and hips to the sky. And again, we could do this every day, multiple times a day, and it would still be different right now, right? It would still be the way it is in this moment. Pedaling the feet through the calves, getting some movement into the hamstrings. Try to feel a sense of length through the trunk of the torso. So we're going to pause the legs for just a moment. Lift both of the heels. Bend both of the knees. So a little bit of chair pose. As you bring your chest to your thighs, raise your tush a little higher into the air. Try to feel like you could breathe a little bit more space between your ribs and your hip bones. Right? Elongate the trunk of the torso. Please straighten your legs. We're going to shift into plank. Gliding forward, bring the pressure to the palms. Looking forward, take a deep breath in. Exhale, come right back to your downward dog. In your downward dog, step your feet apart to the edges of your mat. Lift both of your heels, bend both of your knees. And when you bend your knees, try to keep your knees as wide as your yoga mat, because the knees are going to want to dip in. Flare the heels a little bit wider than your big toes. Keep the arches really active. Plank pose. We're going to keep the feet apart. Nice deep breath in. When you exhale, come right back to your wide-legged downward facing dog. Super duper. Bring your feet all the way together. The heels and toes might not want to touch at the same time, so just the big toes is plenty. Shifting into plank, we're going to take a deep breath in, lower it all the way to the ground. Knees are allowed, hips to the floor. Cobra pose, we'll keep the hands right where they are as you point your toes. Lengthen your neck and look at the floor. Lift your chest, take a deep breath in. When you exhale, lower your abdomen, your nose just an inch from the ground. Lift your hands half an inch off the floor and squeeze the elbows close. Lift your back body strong from your neck. Buttocks and thighs strong. Now add the hands. We'll come up just a little higher. Full breath. Exhale. One more time. We'll lower the belly button. Nose hovering just an inch. Hands hover half an inch. Again, flare the elbows back and in. Shoulders broad. Thighs strong. Lift the heart. Add the hands. Big breath in. Just a little higher. And we'll exhale to lower down. Downward facing dog. Get the feet set from the knees. You can lift or directly through your plank. We'll come back and up. Widen your downward dog, feet to the edges of your mat. Shifting into plank, hold it. Come right back to your downward dog. Keep your left foot on the side edge. Raise your right leg into the air. Shifting into plank pose, keep your right leg in the air. Now, the challenge here is to keep that right foot wide as if it were on the side edge of your mat. Come back into downward dog. Now put your right foot down. Lift your heels, a little bit of chair pose. Keep the thighs wide, even with the knees, even with the heels. Plank pose will straighten the legs. Shift right back to your downward dog. I promise it's the last one. Left leg into the air. Keep the left leg high and wide into plank pose. So again, your left foot stays, to the corner of the mat, outer edge of the mat. Bring it back to your downward dog and then put your foot on the floor. Step your feet back together, please. Plank pose. Knees and hips to the ground. Sphinx pose. Slide your forearms up front. And as usual, instead of the typical 90-degree angle, we'll lengthen it out a little bit. Look between your elbows, firm the legs. Your right leg is going to lift and flex your right ankle. Bend your right knee about 90 degrees. You try to feel like your heel is going straight up to the ceiling. We're going to lift the thigh a little bit higher, and we are going to roll the hips open. So as you start to lean to your left, turn your belly button a little bit to the right. Look up at your thumbs. Put your belly button on the floor first, and then straighten your leg, your thigh, then your knee, and then your foot. Your left leg is going to rise. The right leg is the anchor. Keep the neck long. So you might need to look up to see what I'm showing you, but then look at the floor again. Bend your knee, push up through the heel, find the glutes strong, roll it open. You guys are brilliant. Press back through that left heel and breathing. Look at your thumbs. Put your belly button down first because you're like, I can feel exactly where that is in my body. Your legs straight before you set it down. Hands near your heart will come up, downward facing dog, toes tucking under and the hips to the sky. You can always come up off the knees, of course, of course. The same thing you just did, right leg into the air. Bend your right knee, turn it open. Your belly button looking to the right. Look up at your thumbs. With as much control from your trunk as you can, turn the hips closed. Right leg straight before you put your foot on the floor. Brilliant, you guys. Left leg in the air. Bend your knee first. Articulate that ankle strong through the left heel all the way toward the windows, out the windows to the lake, into the sky. Straighten your leg first and then put your foot on the floor. We're walking forward, your feet to your fingers to your feet. When you get your legs underneath you, hands to your shins, we'll float halfway up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale to slide into your fold, and then we'll stand up, circle the arms all the way for the ceiling. Hands together and down to your heart. Good, let your arms rest. So please find your block. And if you don't have your block, something that'll give you just a little bit of extra height. You know, a greeting card would work if you had that, because it would be able to stand upright. So the whole thing that we're doing right now is to try to get the strength from the heels, the calves, the thighs, the butt, the back, the thoracic rib cage, the shoulders, and even the back of your neck to engage. So what we're going to do first is fold halfway. So thumbs at the crease and lower to monkey pose, right? Tabletop, Ardha Uttanasana, all those wonderful names we have for it. Unlock the knees so you feel a deeper crease at the pelvis. I know this is review for pretty much all of us, but the thumbs are going to push back and we're lengthening through the chest. Elbows up. You guys look fantastic. Now, don't change anything about what's going on. Spread your arms out to the side. Your fingertips are barely going to touch the block. Just lower your arms as if you could touch. But again, if you need to lower down further, bend your knees instead of round your back, right? Instead of round your chest. Now, the whole emphasis that we're putting on is to engage the back body. Start to flex your butt muscles. You're going to take a deep breath in. And when you stand up, you're going to exhale out through your mouth. Good. Now you're attempting to, again, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Everything goes, right? So we're going to come down. Fingers touch, unlock the knees. Inhale. Exhale quickly. Yes, good. Again, inhale. Down and exhale from your back body up, right? So the whole back body, it's like it's doing a sit-up in reverse, right? We're coming down and your back body is doing the crunch. Your butt is key. Your hamstrings are key. One more time, I promise. Last one here. Exhaling. Super, you guys. Move that block out of the way. Now, every time we stand up today, we're going to try to do that. We're not exactly the same way, but we're trying to engage that whole back body. Top of the mat, we'll bring the hands together. Reaching up, big breath in. Exhale to float, fingers to the ground. Hands to your shins, halfway, you can feel it again. Step your left foot and then your right foot into plank as you exhale. Deep breath in, we'll exhale to the ground. Your cobra, if you're feeling that upward dog, right, please be my guest. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Thighs strong, hips to the sky. Your left foot and then your right foot will step to the front, just halfway up. Here you're breathing in, exhale to lower. Now, take a deep breath in and try to use your back body to stand up. Breathing out, reach up, hands together. It's okay if you're like, it didn't quite work, but I'm trying. That's perfect. Hands together, inhale to lift. Strong along your back body will fold. Bend the knees. Monkey pose, lengthen. Right foot, left foot, we're stepping back to plank. Hold for the breath in, exhale to lower down. Back bending, full lungs. Exhale all the way to your downward dog. Breathing in, and then right foot, left foot as you exhale to the top. Breathing in, monkey pose. Exhale to dive down. Stand up from your back body, strong along your spine. We'll bring the hands together and down to the heart. So top of the mat to start it fresh. We'll do two more. Breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, dive it down. Feel the length. Left foot stepping, right foot to plank pose. Big breath in, your timing to the earth. Your back bend. So awesome, you guys. Move through steady. Left foot, right foot to the top. Part way up before you lift all the way up. Again, engage the back from the buttocks. The glutes seem to be the key, kind of like the bridge from the lower body to the upper body, right? So if you can get the glutes going, right, really stabilize through the buttocks, and and really inform the other parts. Right foot, left foot is the pattern for this last one. Plank pose to the earth. Feel the length, right? Heart free. We'll meet you back in downward facing dog. There's no rush, please. Right foot, left foot. You're breathing as you're moving. Only halfway, balance the hips. And then all the way, come up, hands together. Once you're at the top of the mat standing, raise your arms overhead, palms facing in. Twist to your right side, arms separate to a T. You can look behind you over your right shoulder. Breath in to lift. As you turn to the left, let the hips turn. Even the ankles register, the feet register, arms up top. Right side will rotate. Go over your shoulder. Breath in and breath out. From your left side, we'll lift and then dive down, folding. Hands to your shins. Step your left foot only. Big step, twisting the high lunge. Your left hand could stay flat. You could make use of your block. Right hand to your knee, and we'll look up. Right arm to the ceiling. So, Linda, take your left hand down. Yeah. Switch your arms. Bingo. Looking at your thumb, if you can, look to the front of your space. Try to tip your head back. It's opening up cow pose to the chest. Lift your right big toe. See if you can let that right thigh drift away, teetering onto the baby edge of your right foot. Strong in your ankle. Right hand to the floor as you flatten your foot. You're stepping back, downward facing dog. So challenging, you guys. Great job. Take notice of that right knee. Say, oh, downward dog is helpful. You can stay in downward dog. You can move through the vinyasa. Plank pose, if you're going, options for cobra or upward dog for your back bend. And we'll meet you back in downward dog, getting set to step forward. Left foot, right foot to the top. Walking or hopping can get you there the same way. Hands to your shins, take a deep breath in, and we'll step the right foot back. So nice healthy step. Your right hand is going to stay flat. Could have a block. Left hand to your knee before it reaches in the air. And absolutely the right thing to do to look at your thumb at first, but then see if you could lean back and look to the front of the space. Really open up through the heart. Still, those collarbones are so broad. The left big toe can lift. It's just for an option as you roll to the baby edge of that left foot, right? Really strong in the ankle. Your left hand is lowering to the floor before you step back. Downward dog is going to help you reset the knee and the ankle if anything fishy crept in there. You can stay or you can go. Your inhalation forward, exhaling to the earth. Your back bend, fill up the lungs. Let the downward dog deflate your body. Press it out. Right foot, left foot to the front. Baby lift, and then we'll rise. Inhaling, exhaling. Arms releasing. Top of the mat, hands together, prayer position. Please raise your right heel only. Pick up your right knee. And it doesn't matter how high your leg is in the air, but we're going to raise the arms. And then twisting to your right. So your arms are going to separate into that same T position. And you're going to take a peek either at your front thumb or your back thumb, or at the wall to the right side. And then you're going to lift both arms. And if you're still with it, kick that right leg straight, maybe a little higher, lifting from your quads. Yowza. Arms down, leg down. That'll get you. The quads, if they, really part of the core, the hands to the heart, and the left heel will start. So take a moment to breathe, shoulders relaxed, crown rising, left knee up, arms up. Yeah, when you're ready. You don't have to wait for me. So really open up through the heart, and then we'll turn to the left. And yeah, if you can hike that left thigh up, go for it. You know, knee to chest, absolutely. But then it becomes difficult to keep the heart rising. Arms up. Kick the legs straight before you lower everything down. Oh. Fingers to the ground, knees bending, release the wrists. They might twirl a little bit. Top of your mat, we'll bring the hands together. Big breath in, we'll lift. Exhale into the fold. Hands to shins, halfway. Left foot stepping back, and we're setting up the high lunge, this time rising. So maybe you're not on a tightrope, you've got a little bit of space between the feet. Arms overhead. Are we gonna twist again? You bet. Turn to your right arm behind you. Now the arms can stay in the air. Your left hand could go to your outer right thigh, and you could push your knuckles against your leg. See if you can catch a little leverage to turn. Firm the left buttock, right? That left thigh strong through the glutes. You could take your right hand and grab that left leg, and then apply the leverage in both directions. Keep the chest lifted, right? So just so, arms overhead, into the fold with all that control. Amazing. Downward facing dog will come back and up. You can stay or you can go, right? The rules are going to stay the same for now. Plank pose, if you're going, keep the palms rooted, right? Child's pose always available if you need a little extra time to catch your breath. The left foot, the right foot, stepping to the front. Simply halfway, reset the hips in monkey pose. Your right foot will step, find that space. Each foot has its own lane. Arms overhead, you can walk it to your thigh. When you turn to your left, right, palms could face up, elbows could be bent, right? So the arms could be kind of casual, but the chest is really alert. Option to bring that right hand to the outer leg. Firm the right glutes, that right hip and thigh. Option to bring your left hand to the outer right leg. And even as you're twisting, wherever you're looking, it's good. Raise the sternum. Feel the strength along your spine. It's incredible, you guys. 2 more breaths. You can do it. Arms overhead when you're breathing in. Slow motion to the floor as you exhale. Downward facing dog. We're stepping back. Good. Let's stay together here. Plank pose into Sphinx. Slide the elbows forward. Breathing. Shoulders back, looking up. Yes, with your head just a few times. Welcome the pressure to the abdomen and those lower ribs. And pause the yes. Somewhere looking forward so you can say no. Maybe just out to your thumbs, out to your hands, so the neck can stay long. Pause the no, and then right ear to right shoulder, easy lean. Left ear to left shoulder, easy lean. When you go to the right again, pull back with the left elbow a little bit along the floor. Use that friction. Left side will go, right elbow dragging back away from your jaw. Bring it to the center. Now your left arm is going to walk a little further forward. Your right arm is going to lift, and we're going to open up, looking at the ceiling. So try to keep the tops of your feet on the floor as you look up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower your right elbow back to the floor. Left arm is going to lift, open up through the chest. Just circle up. You can look up. Just vertical, and then we'll take the left arm down. Now, when the right arm lifts again, now if you want to reach back your pinky finger to your butt, go for it. But that's asking a lot of that shoulder, so please be careful. Take the right arm all the way back, overhead to the floor. Left arm is going to lift. Again, the pressure on your right side against the floor, that might be the most interesting part about this. And maybe the left arm reaches back, but it's coming overhead, returning home. Downward facing dog, please move first to your hands and knees. Push the floor away, get the toes tucked under, then lift your hips. Breathing. So much just went on, right? Good. Our pattern is right foot, left foot, but you could certainly walk. You can hop. We'll take the hands to the shins, balance the feet on the heels. Slide into your fold before you stand. We'll come all the way up. Hands together and to your heart. Good. Let it rest. Come back home, top of your mat. We'll bring the hands together. Big breath in as we lift up. Exhale into the fold. Hands to your shins, come up halfway. Big step with your left foot. Good. Warrior one, plant your heel, arms up and overhead. Almost as soon as you get here, straighten your right leg. Turn to your right side. Your arms are going to move to a T. They don't want to go so well. Arms overhead, facing forward. Turn to your left. And one more time, we'll go each way. Big breath in. So a longer stance is going to challenge you more, right? If you need to shorten the stance, it'll give you a little less resistance. Arms overhead. Losing it. Turning to your left. Good. As you come up to the center, we'll dive into the fold. Arms can go wide around your front heel. And if you haven't shortened your stance, now's the time. So bring that left foot a little bit forward, maybe a little wider as well. Place both of your hands on your right shin. Monkey pose, prop yourself up and lengthen. Big breath in. We'll slide it down. So that one more time, you can have your front knee bent for sure. When you exhale, slowly lower. We'll stay a few breaths here. Fingers around your foot. Soften your jaw. You can lift and spread the toes on your front foot, sort of like you're pushing your foot underneath the sand. Keeping pressure to your back foot is really helpful because it's going to position the hips in a really safe place where you're allowed to get as much length out of the torso as possible. Right, now we're going to move to a standing splits. So this is really no big deal, just a matter of transferring the pressure. Pick up the back heel and slowly lean forward as you walk the hands out front. Let the left leg magically float. You can then put a little bit of effort pressing down in your right heel and then out and up through your left heel. Sometimes just trying to lift your left thigh bone makes all the difference. Take one more full breath in and we'll lower the left foot next to the right foot. Easy into a squat. We're going to lift both of the heels and bend both of the knees. Find your balance on the fingertips, maybe looking forward, and then we'll lower the head to the knees and lift the hips. Keep it real simple. Monkey pose. Bless you. Hands to shins. Step your right foot back. Really healthy step. This is warrior one. Turn that heel flat. Arms overhead. We'll look to the fingers. And again, almost as soon as you get everything set, straighten your left leg. Turn to the left. Arms out to a T. Look behind you if you can. That left arm's just going to take what it can get. Inhale the arms up. We'll turn to the right side. Take nothing for granted. Balance is tricky. Arms overhead. Left side turning. Belly button turning. Inhale up, right side. One more go. Big breath in. Find the center, and then we'll dive. Fingers around your front foot. And you can stay where you are, or that right foot can make a little hop step forward, maybe a little bit to the side. Your hands to your shin. Lengthen, prop yourself up, shoulders back. It's a lot like Cobra Pose. Slide down, head toward your knee. One more time, we'll lift and lengthen. And really define that crease, right? We were looking with strength from the back body, head towards your knee. Stay a few breaths. Remember the little adjustments, that big toe lifting. Active left leg, right? We're not just hoping that the stretch works, right? We're strong in the muscles, helping to assist the circulation. And that's even more important now as we transfer. So standing splits, your right heel is going to lift, shift the pressure into your front foot as the right leg rises. And it's great to think about lifting the right leg, but press the left foot into the earth. lengthen the right leg and then lift it. From the buttocks, raise your thigh a little higher and then put your foot next to your left foot. We're lifting the heels to lower down, and we'll add a little twist here too. So walking your fingers around to the right side, take a peek over your right shoulder. If you're feeling really fancy, reach your right arm behind you like you could touch the bricks at the back of the room. And then we'll lower the right hand. Walk the fingers around to the left side. So the right arm creates a little bit of leverage connection against your thigh, and maybe you're reaching that left arm back to open through the chest. Say, my knees aren't going to hack it, Thomas. We'll meet you standing in just a second. Lower the left hand, walk it around, head down, and we'll lift the hips. Hands to the hips, keep it real basic as you rise. I'm going to take a moment to breathe here. A lot just happened. We're going to put a lot of it together. So please find a block. Keep it somewhere handy at the top of your mat. We'll bring the hands together at the heart and we'll reach up. Big breath in to lift. Exhale, fold it forward. Hands to your shins, come up halfway. Step your left foot back. We're twisting the high lunge. Right arm to the sky. Circle the right arm forward to the inside arch. Put your left heel flat. It's a side angle, your left hand to your hip, and then up into the sky. Stay for 2 breaths, please. Use the inner thigh to squeeze on the elbow. Press your elbow against your inner thigh. The left arm's going to make a big circle to the floor. Come off of the left heel, bring your knee to the floor. Walk the right foot a little bit wider. Maybe your left elbow goes to the ground. Maybe you use your block for your left elbow. You can certainly just bend your elbows and look forward a little bit, Cobra Pose. If it's possible for you, lift your left knee for a second and see if you can glide a little bit front to back. This is really challenging if you're really low on your elbows. Sometimes walking the elbows a little forward gives you a little more room in the torso. Put your left knee on the ground. Lift your left foot. Right arm is going to go for the sky. You can stay here and breathe. Try to squeeze your heel to your tailbone. If you're reaching the right hand back to grab your ankle, maybe go from the inside or the top of your foot. Open the chest. Yeah, you can look forward. Your right big toe, you can balance on the baby edge. It's enough. Right arm free, left foot free. Take your right hand overhead to the floor. Ardha Hanuman, you're going to lift up onto your hands. Shift your hips back. You can keep that right foot wide on the side edge. You're trying to figure out where your center is based on your belly button, based on the tip of your nose, based on your pubic bone, and then you lower your head down just to the inside of that right leg. And because we're twisting all morning, one final option here, your left hand can grab your right ankle and your right arm can reach behind you. Yes, Rana. Spread the toes, that ball mount really strong on the front foot. Right hand can just float or reach overhead to the floor. You're shifting into the lunge and then back into downward dog because, you know, that's the place to be. You can stay or you can go. Your plank to the earth, your cobra, your up dog. We're meeting back in downward dog, so it could be like you never left. Your left foot, your right foot to the top, walking or jumping will get you there perfectly. Your hands to your shins, full breath. We're stepping the right foot back and we're twisting to the left. So keep the runner's lunge, keep the high lunge, your left hand to your knee on its way to the ceiling. Circle it overhead to the inside arch and at side angle. Pivot your right heel flat, your right hand to your hip, into the sky. You can absolutely use the block. And you're breathing. That right arm is going to circle overhead for the floor. Come off the heel, put your knee on the ground. Walk the left foot a little to the side. Your right elbow or both elbows could have a block. Try to lengthen the torso from the waist, right? Open up through the solar plexus. The right knee is lifting so you can glide a little bit like a hovercraft. Use your legs. Trust your leg muscles, right? They're there to help you, right? They're stronger than you think, and I mean that literally. Put your knee back on the ground. Your left arm can reach for the ceiling and pause. Bring your left heel, sorry, it's the right heel, isn't it? To your butt. And you could take your hand back and grab that right ankle. And again, cow pose, you're looking to the front. Yeah, exactly. So the head tips back, back body strong. You can let go of that foot whenever you're ready. Good. Very, very carefully. Shift the hips back. Ardha Hanuman. So climb up onto your hands. Rock the hips back. That foot can stay wide. And again, you're trying to figure out, okay, where's my midline? Where are my hips balanced? Whatever that back foot needs to do. You don't have to add the twist yet, but if you're eager, that's great. Your right hand can grab your left ankle, and that left arm will go behind you. Raise the heart to reach back. And when the time comes, both hands on the floor to rock it forward. First into the lunge and then back into downward dog. Hips to the sky. Stay with me, please. Plank to the ground. Sphinx pose. Elbows up front. Right arm to the ceiling. Turn it open. Take a big breath. Circle it forward as you come back. So much for the shoulders, you guys. Great job. Left arm, open it up. You could reach toward your butt. Come back. Last time, right arm. Please, your bottom arm can really push into the floor, right? Use that bottom arm. Enjoy the pressure. Last time, left arm, maybe all the way behind you. Good. Once you've come back to the floor, make a little pillow. Bring your hands in, your elbows out. Wrists stacked for your forehead. Keep your toes on the floor, wag your heels side to side. Pause for just a second so you can bend your knees. Heels to your tush, swing your calves side to side. Simple rotation to the legs. Add a little pressure to your thigh bones. A little bit to the hips. We'll steady the swinging to lower the feet. We're on our way to downward dog. Lift your head, bring the hands back, and think about pushing the floor away. Toes tucking under, hips to the sky. Now, we are preparing for pigeon pose. For those of you that need to go onto your back, you can return to the floor and flip yourself over. For those of you staying with me, take your right leg to the ceiling, up, up, and away. Bend your right knee and bring it toward your right wrist. So a little bit out to the side on an angle. The left foot swings in, over to the left. Walk your hands out wide and your left leg back and back and back, right? Now take a peek over your right shoulder, just a moment to look at your back foot. And then when you face forward, we'll lower down to the forearms. And again, my friends who are on your back, right, that figure 4 is wonderful. And I'll give you some adjustments in just a moment. Again, I'm giving you the visual for options on your back, right? You can press that right elbow into your thigh. Now your left forearm is underneath your chest. And you bend your left knee. Take your right hand back to grab your ankle. And just for a moment, you're going to look forward. Letting go of your foot. Come back onto your elbows. Walking yourself up onto your hands. Bend your left knee again. Your left hand can reach back and grab your foot. Your right arm can reach up for the ceiling. If you're able, you're going to put that left foot in your left elbow, and then you reach around and you link your hands together. Right? This is bananas for your quads, so just be careful. So if you're going to let it go, try to, move slowly. There's no rush. There's no rush. You say, I like the first version best. That's wonderful. But we've been preparing all morning for that king pigeon. If it's time, my friends, walk the left leg forward. Use your two arms and the left leg so that you can pick up the right leg safely, stepping it back, either directly into your downward dog, or maybe the right leg takes a trip into the sky for a moment. Little ankle twirl. Vinyasa optional here. You can move through plank to the earth, Cobra Pose, up dog. If you're on your back, a bridge pose is a wonderful option as a go-between before you do that second side figure 4. Heck yes, child's pose. When the time is right, it's your left leg lifting. Your left knee to your wrist. Swing your calf to the right. Rise up onto your hands, walk the right leg back. Take a peek over your left shoulder. Okay, so we're balancing the hips, we're adding a little twist, and then we'll lower down to the forearms. And again, these first few breaths, right, our whole focus is to balance the pelvis, right? To feel like we're even across the lower back, even across the hips. You have your right elbow underneath you, forearm across your mat. You bend your right knee. Your left hand could reach back and say, oh, I could tap my foot. That's awesome. Closer than I thought I was going to be. Or maybe you can grab your ankle and reach all the way around. Again, look forward. So we're really engaging along the back, either side of the spine. You can let it go. If that's your favorite one, you want to stay there, please. You don't have to follow me into the cave here. Good, we're gonna rise up. And again, option simply, your left hand stays, your right hand reaching back to grab the top of your foot, your ankle somewhere. I think it's important to have your thumb pointing up, your palm open for this shoulder here, the chest here. And again, option, if you're gonna go, I don't think on this side, it's gonna quite go. But you can hook it in, you can link the fingers. And again, it's all about that balance in the hips, right? It's so, so important. Guys, geniuses. You're letting go of that foot. We'll return to the forearms. We'll stay just a few more breaths. So it is helpful, I think, especially if you are really bound up. Come back to the basics before you exit. Good. Walk the right leg forward as you go. Lift up onto the hands. So your two arms and the right leg can support you in the exit, the left leg for the ceiling or directly for the floor in downward dog. One last back bend on the ground here. We'll find plank to lower down, knees and hips. Forehead to the floor, arms behind your back, hooking your thumbs together. You could interlace your fingers if you prefer. We're going to lift the chest and reach back through the arms. So elbows straight as can be. You might need to shimmy a little bit to bring your shoulder blades together. We're going to lift both of the legs and flex the ankles, strong through the buttocks. Option to bend both knees and lift your thighs a little higher. Option to grab your ankles and lift everything a little higher. Again, from your buttocks, from your back. Big smile as you look forward. So, wow. Full breath into the floor. Everything coming down to the ground. Slow and steady. Your arms making a little pillow. Your heels can wag. And you're breathing into the floor and saying, thank you, floor. Being so solid. Notice your breath as it gets redirected into your lower back. Same thing is happening if you can absorb the pressure on your ribs, having that really beneficial influence on your thoracic spine. We're going to rise up really carefully. So first pick up your head, hands near your heart. We'll lift first to all fours. On our way to downward dog, get the feet set. We'll lift the hips. Right foot, left foot is our pattern. Walking will get you there. Standing up tall, we'll circle the arms. Big breath in. Hands together and down to the heart. So we'll finish with, again, just real basic. Take your block again, please. And we're just going to do that same back body squeeze, just with the feet in a different position. So the toes are going to turn out, and you might have, a good 2 feet between your heels or so. Everybody's a little different based on your height. But thumbs at that crease, and you're just coming down halfway. Unlock the knees quite generously. Tabletop position, elbows up, shoulder blades together. It's important that your neck is long and you're just looking down at the floor. Take a deep breath in, and when you exhale, stand up vigorously. And again, straighten your legs, squeeze your butt. Halfway down, breathing in, and when you exhale, come on. Yeah, yes, I like it, Henry. That's perfect. Everybody watch Henry. We come down, breathing in, and when you exhale, yes, good. So the whole back body tenses. 2 more times. Breathing in, and again, really strong. Stronger than you need to be. Stronger than you need to be. Breathing in. Just looking at the floor, everything really strong. Wow. Big breath in. Good. Squat down, bring your elbows to your heart. You can take your hands to the floor. You can lift your heels. We're going to twist to the right. So in Malasana, that right arm can reach for the ceiling. Your left arm can create leverage against your thigh. If you're doing it crab walk style, your left hand is behind you on the floor. Your right hand is going to go down to the ground easily, either in front of your thigh or behind your thigh. Your left arm is going to reach to the ceiling. And again, turn the chest open. Use that right arm. Press into the thighs, strong in the groin. We'll lower the left hand. We're on our way to the floor. You can just reach forward and let go. Grab your thighs if you want to keep on rolling a few times. We're going to meet sitting. Upavishta Konasana. We're taking the legs out wide. We'll open up through the heels. The hands are behind you on the floor. The knees can be bent so long as the feet can be flexed. Use your hands to pick up your butt just a little bit and see if you can shift it forward. You want to feel like you're sitting a little bit on your thighs as well as your butt, rather than sitting on your tailbone here, right? Fingertips stay behind you, really poof up through the heart. Point your elbows back and lift your chest even higher. Take a deep breath in. When you exhale, push the floor away from you as you lean forward. Now, some of us are going to keep the hands back here. Some of us are going to take the hands in front or out to the feet. If you want to straighten your legs, you can straighten your legs too. Right? Every change we make is going to color what's happening through the lower back, right? Exactly. So take your feet out wide, but keep your knees bent. Yeah. Here. I'll touch your head, okay? Take your hands behind. Breathe. Don't fight. Yes, don't fight it. That's perfect. You got 2 more breaths wherever you are in the pose. Right. the key, the breath is the change agent, right? The pose is just there to tell the breath what job it's doing. We're going to lift up slowly, head first, but grab the inner thighs to pull up, bring the feet all the way together. Grab hold of the ankles, we'll rock a little bit side to side. Pick up the heart, and then we'll tilt forward. And nose to toes. And again, the key is not to get down, but to breathe. And in order to breathe, there has to be that length. It's humid still. One more breath. Head first, we'll sit up. Knees together, legs out front. Last one, you could shift your hips back instead. Knees can stay bent, keep the feet parallel. Use your hands, draw some of the flesh from your tush. Then we'll circle the arms up, big breath in. Lower over the legs. It's perfect ending. Truly. Just great, you guys. 2 more breaths. Really deep inhalations, slow exhalations. Slow, super slow. Next time you exhale, reach forward. Sit up tall as you can. Inhale, big lift. Hands together and down to your heart. All right, one last thing before we rest. Bring your feet back in. Take your thumbs. So this part of your heel, this is usually we call this the ankle bone. It's actually part of your calf. Just below that bone, take both of your thumbs. You can do this on one foot right now, and you're just going to go back and forth a few times. And you can get real generous. You can kind of smush and smear open, but go back and forth just under that ankle bone. Right? It's real. Again, it's really your calf bone, but we'll just stay with the kind of normal terms. It might be really sensitive there. Be really nice to yourself. We're going to go to the other side, other foot, I mean. So other foot. This is sort of the terminus of your sciatic nerve. There's arteries, there are veins, and this can have an effect on your lower back, just to give you a little bit of reason for why we're doing this right now. Again, you can do this anytime for yourself. It doesn't just have to be in yoga class. But if it, everybody is going really quiet. So it's profound. It's profound. Okay. All right, we're going to lie back, my friends. So we're going to come back here, knees together, and make sure you got room for your head on your mat. Come down nice and easy. Good. Rocking a little bit. Good. Reaching for your feet, happy baby style. You can grab your big toes. You can grab your ankles. Knees toward your armpits. You might still be feeling what you just did in your ankles, arches. And one more breath. Very carefully bring your knees together. And feet to the floor. Take a moment to pause, hands on your thighs. Now, we did a lot of twisting this morning, so if you still feel like you want that last twist, nobody's going to ask any questions. But if you're good to go and you're ready for corpse pose, wonderful. If you want to turn yourself upside down, or there's some other pose that your body's asking for, Please take a minute to finish whatever instinctive element of your practice is arising. And again, if Shavasana is the thing, we'll meet you there. We started with that crooked corpse pose, the knees together, the feet wide, and this is a really nice place. The traditional version, of course, you can have your legs straight, your heels to the corners. If you're in Shavasana, the arms to the side, palms open, just to allow the chest and the shoulders a little bit more freedom. As you get settled in, just breathing. And just at the moment, there's nothing else you need to do. Nowhere else you need to be. From time to time, it's helpful to return to your breathing, anchoring your awareness in your body. Sense of gravity to your arms and legs. Allowing yourself to release deeper and deeper into the earth. And as you let go of your breathing, letting go of your body, sensing your entire being very much alive, very deeply at rest. allowing your body to remain still, turning your awareness to your breathing. Very simple movement of your inhalations, your exhalations. Offering just a few of the mental affirmations when you breathe in, saying to yourself, breathing in. And when you breathe out, saying to yourself, breathing out. It's incredibly simple and tremendously profound way to link your mental energy with what's actually happening in the moment. Breathing in, I can feel my body breathing in. Breathing out, I can feel my body breathing out. Further anchoring yourself into the sensations of the breath, that present moment experience. And through your breathing, noticing the floor, noticing your body resting. Wonderful people around you, the sky, beautiful sunshine. Expanding your breath, feeling at home and complete throughout your body. Simple movements, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling your head a little bit side to side. Feeling at home and complete on this beautiful earth. Stretching your arms overhead if that feels right. Big wake up stretch, maybe some yawning breaths as you extend fingers and toes, arms and legs in opposite direction. Nice and carefully bring the knees to the chest, giving your legs a hug and maybe saying a little prayer of appreciation for your body. Gratitude quotient for all the effort you're able to put in. We'll make our way to sitting. You can roll to one side using your arm as a pillow. You can use the momentum to rock front to back. And wherever you return, cross legs or kneeling, with or without the cushion, we'll bring the hands together in closing. As you're breathing, recalling any dedication, any intention, perhaps something occurred during the practice that you'd like to take with you. Additionally, acknowledging within yourself and within one another that which is peace, that is joy, that is love, and that is light. Residing inside of this space with both the knowledge and the experience that we are one with all things. Just one sound of Om, deep breath in. A deep breath. And to that light we bow. Namaste. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you. Please take your time. Friends at home, thank you so much. Take your time. If you have any questions, let me know.